Today I am here with one of the prettiest Steinways I really have ever seen. Steinway pianos in general are just absolutely beautiful. The color of the harp is wonderful, and the way the inside of the piano is laid out is wonderful. But this one in particular is really beautiful. This is a Steinway L, and I don't know the exact date. This piano was just recently rebuilt here at DC Pianos, and oh boy did they do a wonderful job of doing it. An interesting thing back here at the tail of the piano is that there's a embossed into the harp. It says 4-29 and then a dot and then P, which would mean probably like a patent date, and then 1890 and then also a random 2 underneath. I don't know what that means. So some type of patent on this piano was filed and probably received in 1890. So this piano would date sometime after 1890, which if you think of it, really doesn't narrow it down at all. When was it made? That doesn't answer anything. But I wanted to point out an interesting thing about this beautiful harp here, which has been resprayed by all appearances. We have all of this writing here. Now this would be, you'd find this on a brand new Steinway today, this arcing Steinway & Sons New York underneath. But over here it says Patent Grand Construction. You have another Steinway logo, registered U.S. Patent Office, Steinway Foundry Casting, Tubular Metallic Action Frame, Patent. None of this writing would be on a new Steinway. My Steinway D from 1995 does not have any of this writing, and while I think the writing is kind of cool, they left it off on new Steinways. So this would definitely tell that this piano isn't too far away from this patent date of 1890. I don't think it was from 1890, but it probably was from maybe the 1900s, or I'm going to guess 1920s or 30s, maybe somewhere around there. I also wanted to touch on the wood this piano is made of because I love this red color it is. I don't know what it is, maybe it's mahogany or something like that, but it's so pretty, and I love the way that it combines with this gold color. It's just, it really pleases me. I don't know why, but it does, and hopefully it pleases you as well because it's really beautiful. So let me come around to the front of the piano after I tell you about one more thing. The soundboard on this piano, actually everything about this piano is either brand new or it has been refinished. The piano, I'm sure, has been refinished. All the strings and all of the bridges and stuff here have been gone through. The soundboard has had a repair, at least two. You can see here that there's a shim there and also a shim there. However, the piano sounds absolutely wonderful. Shims are used to insert more wood into the soundboard to give it more of a crown, to bring back the life of a piano that has a flat soundboard and doesn't project well anymore. And I'm going to say that this piano has been basically, the condition of this soundboard has been brought back to brand new because it sounds absolutely beautiful. So let me come around, talk a little bit more about the piano, and then I will play it and hopefully enjoy it. Here's a super close-up of the keys here, and I just wanted to point out, look at the grain in the keys. This is how you can tell not only from the feel but also the appearance of ivory keys. You can see that they've got this natural grain in the keys that is different in every single key. Hopefully that's coming through on camera. It looks like it is on my end. And that is how you can tell ivory keys. They have a really nice color to them as well. It's very consistent, it's very even. On camera it looks like it's very, very pure and white. They're slightly off-white. They're kind of like a creamy white color, but they're very consistent and it's a very nice looking keyboard. Another thing I wanted to mention is the logo here on the fallboard would definitely help date the piano because Steinway's gone through several iterations of their logo, and I'd imagine that knowing what era they used this logo in would help date the piano, similarly to how Baldwin has gone through several generations of logos, and knowing the different logo designs can help roughly date the era of the piano. So I just thought I'd point that out to you. That, of course, would assume that when they refinish the piano, they put the appropriate era logo back onto the piano. Frequently, again, with Baldwin's, I see that many people will put the modern logo, which does not have the dot over the I on the piano, even though the piano originally would have had a dot over the I or even the old-style logo with the fancy font. I wanted to talk about the pedals briefly here on this piano because they're absolutely beautiful. They have been re-chromed, I would imagine. Maybe it's nickel, but it's most likely chrome. I've got some dirt on there, what a shame. And it's off now. And as you can see, it's absolutely shiny. You can probably see the reflection of my hand right there. So they're very, very pretty and they're very beautiful. And of course, it's back with this red wood again, and the red and the silver just looks wonderful to me. Another interesting thing I wanted to point out is that the wheels have also been re-chromed. And if we take a look at them, you'll see this green painter's tape on them, and you might be wondering, what is that for? Well, it's to protect the finish of the wheels, because when you roll a piano across the floor, it'll get scraped up, and a lot of the times you'll see brand new concert grand Steinways where the wheels, the big beautiful casters with the double, the double wheels and the locking mechanism, the wheels are all scraped up, and it really is kind of a shame. I wish the piano manufacturers would put rubber around the wheels or plastic or something like that to protect them, but of course the gold, or in this case the silver chrome wheels, look beautiful, so of course that's why they leave it. it. But I thought it was a nice touch that this piano store put painter's tape over the wheels to help protect it. And of course it's painter's tape, so it comes off really easily and leaves no marks. If ever I am rich someday, instead of having like a Jay Leno garage of cars, I think I want to have the James Shawcross Piano Museum, where I'd collect all of these rare, unusual, and beautiful antique pianos. I might even have like a concert brand of every make or something like that, and then also these beautiful pianos like this, because it's a stunning piano. As you can see here, everything has been gone through. It has brand new tuning pins and strings and hammers and dampers and everything, and it looks brand new. It looks really amazing. And I just thought I'd mention that because that's part of the reason this piano sounds so good. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play a simple melody that I wrote specifically for testing out pianos, and I think it does a pretty good job. So it starts off in the treble and then moves down into the tenor and bass of the piano, and hopefully you enjoy. As you can hear, this piano, at least to me, it sounds absolutely gorgeous. It fulfills basically everything I would want from a piano. In case I didn't mention it, this is a Steinway L, and it has an absolutely beautiful sound. It has a bright, crystalline, sparkly treble that really competes really well with this beautiful bass. Even though this isn't a concert grand, as you can see, it's much smaller. It still has a lovely bass. Solid and thick and wonderful. It's amazing. And of course the rest of the piano here is really warm and mellow, and this piano as a whole really pleases me. I love the way it looks, I love the way it sounds, and it's definitely my favorite piano I've seen today, and it's probably going to be my favorite piano that I've seen in quite some time. On many of these smaller pianos that are not concert grands and might necessarily not be the world's greatest piano, I generally don't play longer songs on them unless they're really something special, because especially at this store I'm at and at other places, there's so many videos I want to do on funny and unusual pianos that might not be the world's greatest thing. I don't want to spend 8 minutes on them talking about it and playing something like Fantasy Impromptu. But since this is honestly like my favorite Steinway L I've ever come across, and it's a phenomenal piano, I wanted to play the Pirates of the Caribbean theme on this piano because I think the piano sounds great for it, and so hopefully you enjoy it. hopefully you enjoyed that performance of the Pirates of the Caribbean theme on this wonderful Steinway & Sons Model L. The action on this piano has a rather heavy and substantial feel, and this can be both good and bad. However, I feel that the action is really responsive. As you can see, it really did everything I really wanted it to. It played loud and it played fast and did all this crazy stuff. And so I think some people might prefer a lighter action. However, there is a good thing about a heavier action on a piano, especially one that responds very well as this one does. If you practice on a piano that has a heavier action, and then go to perform on a piano that has a much lighter action, it becomes really easy to play that piano with a lighter action, and you'll be able to play faster and even do more dynamics and all kinds of stuff. So there are advantages to playing on a piano with a heavier action. I myself kind of prefer the more substantial feel, and there's a balance between when a piano is heavy and when it's light, when it's kind of substantial and has a meaty feeling, and it's kind of an odd way to put it really, but I like that feeling. And it's really nice to have a piano like this that's a bit heavier when you're playing slow songs. For me, because I can almost like predict when the note is going to strike a little bit better with a more substantial action, and it just helps it play better. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video on this wonderful Steinway & Sons Model L. If you liked it, you can go check out my channel, and I've got lots of other videos on pianos, Steinways, and all other makes and models, basically, except for a few that are very rare here in the States. And you can go check that out. And the store info where I found this piano will be in the description and the comment section down below, so if you're interested in seeing this piano for yourself, I honestly highly recommend it. It's a wonderful piano. And so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.